voice of the Roadrunners, Mike's on. Yeah, right.
And welcome back to Chicken and Pickle, everyone. It's time for the UTSA basketball radio show as we get going on this this Monday night ahead of big games coming up this week and big wins this past weekend from both the men's and women's basketball teams. Austin Claunch joins us to start off the show. Big win against North Texas on Saturday. And I forgot to mention this in the postgame show the other day, but congrats, that's 100 career wins for you.
I appreciate it. It was certainly a fun day. Always fun to hard and fun to win on the road. And the 100th, I guess, was a little extra cherry on top.
Yeah. I guess that just kind of shows you the success you had at Nichols to win there, and then to follow that up already close to 500 here at UTSA in your first year, and trying to continue to build that program.
Yeah, I think anytime you tell our guys, anytime you want to have sustainable success, you're going to have to surround yourself with great people. And I talked to a lot of coaches, since then, and it wasn't my 100th win. I felt like it was our 100th win. Anyone that's ever played with us, or from Nichols to here, any coach that's been around. So certainly a group effort.
You've been preaching defense all year long, and you got one of the best defensive efforts of the year against North Texas. Talk about why and what happened to be able to shut down a team to 13 points in the first half and then hang on down the stretch.
There were some schematic things that we did that I thought were better than some things we had tried in other games. But I thought the most important thing was just our guys' engagement and pride on that side of the floor to just keep the ball in front, play one-on-one defense regardless of the matchup. There were times where we'd have some guards on bigs, some of our bigs guarding some of their smaller players, and there was just a mentality to not allow baskets. And, we got into a rhythm. We sort of settled in, and they missed some ones early that, maybe they normally make if they're open, and then we settled in, and I thought we did a great job that last 12 minutes of the first half. I don't think they scored the last 9.5 or whatever it was.
A couple of free throws, I think.
Yeah. So proud of our effort to do it against a really good team like North Texas too. I think gives us a lot of confidence that we can do it.
Part of defense is getting rebounds when they miss. And Damari and Joe were huge, especially with the team being small right now without Mo, who we'll talk about in a little bit. But to have the rebounding effort and the attention to detail there from those guys was huge. Especially
against them. North Texas is so physical. And Coach Hodge does an incredible job of teaching it, or however they do it. It's impressive, and you've got to do it every time. And I thought our guys really battled. Again, something we were stressing at every media timeout. We were making them miss, and we were turning them over, but early on, we were struggling on the offensive glass. But I thought as the game went, we had more of a group mentality around that and figure out how to get it done.
How proud of you are you of the group to have the game against Florida Atlantic where you didn't rebound well, the defense wasn't where you wanted it, and then 3 days later you have just a complete turnaround against a team that's even more physical than FAU was?
College basketball, right? I mean, it's every day, and anyone in this league can beat anyone in this league. FAU's playing some really, really good basketball. We didn't play well, I didn't feel like, but you got to give FAU a lot of credit for that as well. I mean, they had a great plan. They executed better than us. And then, give our guys a lot of credit for just regrouping. We had played North Texas before, so we knew what to expect from a physicality standpoint. I thought we embraced that challenge really well, and then just hung on. Obviously, you get a lead on the road in this league. Same thing here. They had a lead against us. We were able to come back, get it to 5 or 6 or 7. And then same thing. They make their run. You're expecting them to make their run. They're a good team. And we just made enough plays at the end to, pick up a big road win.
That teams are going to make runs like you talked about. And you had a cushion. You had the 13-point lead at halftime, or 14. And you weathered a couple of storms early, and then they made one more. I think they got it to within 4, but that was as close as they could get. And then you made the free throws you needed to down the stretch. And you got to the free throw line. That was one thing we talked about all year long, getting to the line, because you are such a good free throw shooting team.
Yeah, that's something I think we've done a better job of the last few games, getting to the line. We've always made them. Now we've done a better job out shooting our opponents from the line, and they actually did get it to 2, Andy. It was a little bit tighter than you thought it was. Yeah,
okay. So it was 2. Okay.
But no, again, they got it to 2, and we got a huge stop there at the end. Joe Smith with a great contest and a team rebound, and then of course Ray Horton steps up there at the end and makes the free throws. So.
All right, you mentioned everybody in this league can beat anybody can beat anybody on a given night. Even Memphis got a scare yesterday against Rice, and a lot of people think they may have the best roster overall, but there is parity in the league if one team has got its A game and the other team does not.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I think every team has strengths that are when you watch, if you allow those teams to play to their strengths and you don't take away first options and things that they do well, they're going to score. And then if you don't do the things you need to do offensively, if you don't take good shots, if you don't value the ball, it's going to be hard for you to score. And you see that night in and night out. You saw it yesterday in the game. You saw it Saturday. There's a big-time game tonight that's going to be really interesting when you look at different, kind of styles between those two teams playing tonight. So the league is still sort of wide open. A lot of teams, trying to hit their stride. And I take pride in our team playing our best ball in February heading into March.
Awesome. All right, we'll talk more about the Tulane game and the East Carolina game coming up later this week. Coming up next, we're going to visit with Mo Jai, one of UTSA's players. He's on the injured list right now, but still contributing in other ways that we'll touch on. If you're looking for a new or pre-owned car, then look no further than in out here at Chicken and Pickle, and it's time to honor the Stars of the Week. USAA honors the Stars who serve in our military as the official military appreciation sponsor of UTSA. We have 2 tonight, and we're going to visit with Mo Jai here in just a minute as we're getting to know them better during the USAA Stars of the Week segment. And speaking of that, Mo Jai joins us this evening. Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir. I appreciate this.
It's been a tough season for you with this injury you got right before the Army game. How are you dealing with it, and how much longer do you got to wear that cast around?
I'm doing well. I'm taking it day by day. You know, this is just a small bump in the road, nothing that I can't handle. You know, I'll just leave it all in God's hands and take it from there.
Yeah, you got hurt in practice, and now you've had to kind of be the role of cheerleader. Talk about that role and what you're trying to impact, because you've been playing a lot of basketball, and we've got a lot of young guys on this team that have not.
I think it's really important that I use my voice to be a leader on the team. You know, I'm be able to talk to guys, whether it's in practice or in games, because it makes an impact. You know, so just me being able to, you know, accept this role, this new role that I'm in, it really benefits not only myself to, like, you know, use my voice better, but for the team as well, you know, so.
You were at SMU last year, made the transition to UTSA. What made you come here?
Oh, well, one with my man, Coach Claunch, man. I really love him so much. He really dialed in with me when I entered the portal, and I'm just really blessed to be here. I thought this was a great opportunity for me to really buckle in on myself and, you know, for the guys.
Austin, talk about Mo, not only from the standpoint of playing earlier in the season, but the impact he's having now on the bench, helping you out as kind of an extra player coach, if you will.
Yeah, he's obviously, you know, he's a great player. If you watch him, you know, he can impact the game in so many ways without the ball. He can obviously score in the low post, but he affects the game with his size and his rim protection and his talk. He's an incredible leader, and when you're really trying to build a program, you can't just have great players. You got to have guys that are great players and great men and great leaders. And Mo is somebody that, again, with the injury he's dealing with, full disclosure, we're actually hoping to get him a medical red shirt and have him back for another year, which is going to be huge for our program, you know, to have Mo back, because he's such an anchor for what we do, not just on the court, but also off the court, for what we want to build at UTSA and what we want to represent.
Mo, you got to absolutely like that opportunity to come back next year, knowing that your season was cut short this year.
Oh, most definitely. It's a blessing. You know, I think that, you know, it's just great to be able to come back next year and bounce back. All
right, tell me about Centerville, Ohio to Dallas to San Antonio. How did all that come about, and what did you do back in Ohio that made you want to come to the Southwest?
I mean, Centerville, Ohio was great. You know, just a little suburb of Dayton. You know, 937. And I mean, just the whole transition to San Antonio was you know, not too much from, you know, me going to Dallas, but I think the heat here really really overtook me. But other than that, I mean, the vibes here are immaculate. You know, from the coaching staff to the players to all the media people. You know, I think everything just really bonded together, and that just really helped my transition smoother, you know, when I came here.
You don't get many 85-degree days in Ohio in February, do you?
No, not at all. Not at all. You expect it to be a little negative up there, you know, real chilly.
Talk about the fact your brother's on this team, and he's a freshman. The red shirt was off of him earlier in the year, and talk about the relationship you have with Bob.
Me and Bob were really close. Our personalities are very different, but you know, just big bro to little bro, he listens well and he digests things really quickly. And I mean, just for him to be able to be a freshman and be in the position that he is and go out and produce what he does, I think it's just amazing to see that at this level.
What was the competition like as kids when you were growing up?
It was day in and day out. Me, him, and my other brother who actually plays for Notre Dame. We just battled it out every single day. Dad was just on us long hours in the gym.
Austin, you have not only great leaders in I think Bob in the future and certainly Mo now, but great basketball IQs as well. They understand the game, especially Bob for a young age, and Mo with all the experience that he's had.
Yeah, they both have incredible poise, composure, basketball IQ, and feel, like you mentioned. And I think most importantly, you know, you see his parents are down here a lot, you know, and they care a lot about not just them two, but the entire program. And I think they're two great players. They both have, you know, Mo's a little older, but he's obviously going to have a huge impact for us in year 4 next year. You're going to see Bob continue to grow. But I think even most importantly, when you build a program they're one of the many great families that we have, and that's something that's important.
Mo, talk about your parents and the impact that they've had on not only your life, but certainly your brothers as well.
Yeah, for sure. Both of my parents, both of them being foreign, coming from a very diverse cultural background, really helped my brothers and I come up from where we came up from. And, I mean, just letting us, setting the tone for being humble and being the young man that we are, try to, grow us into great young men in this world, I think just really helped. My parents, they were always hard on us growing up and never let us go one day without, it being hard at all.
I'm sure that they had some influences in their lives as younger people that they wanted to pass along to you, especially when they got to the United States.
Yeah, most definitely. They just wanted to pass the torch, They want us to be young, great men, and that's what we plan to do.
What's your future after basketball? What are you studying, and what do you want to do someday?
So right now I am a multidisciplinary study major, and I plan to graduate that this summer and then do my master's in business.
I actually talked to him about coaching a couple of months ago, so
Yeah?
I'm gonna slowly work that in as he continues. He's gonna have a chance to go play some when he gets done playing here. Hopefully for a little bit, because I know that's what he wants to do. Yep. But I think he'd be a great coach. He's an incredible leader and communicator. So we'll see.
What do you think about that? Want to coach?
I think coaches would be pretty good, pretty dope. I think I would be great,
Yeah, that'd be good. And the opportunities, whether it's G League or overseas or the dream to play in the NBA someday, all that's on the agenda down the road too.
Yes, sir, most definitely.
All right, thanks as always for being out here. Sorry that we're not seeing you on the court this last half of the season, but we'll look forward to November when that rolls around and get you back out there.
Yes, sir. I look forward to that time.
All right. Thanks. That's Mo Jai, UTSA center, and one of the impact players, one of our stars of the week from USAA. This season. It's the UTSA Basketball Radio Show. Fans, how would you like to win a gorgeous diamond ring for your favorite Roadrunner? America's Diamond is going to make that happen with the Love Your Roadrunner promotion. Go to goutsa.com/promotions and register today, and you could be selected to win an America's Diamond ring at the men's home basketball game on February 8th, right before Valentine's Day. We're finishing up our conversation with Austin Claunch, the Tulane Green Wave in the convo on Wednesday night, and they have a lot of talent and had a really good game in New Orleans earlier in the year against us.
Yeah, man, just honestly came out and hit us right in the mouth, and we were a different team a month ago than we are right now. There's no doubt about that. We hadn't necessarily gotten our rhythm back, off that holiday break, and now with that being said, they're a really good team, good offensive team, really underrated defensive team. Coach Hunter's won a ton of games. They play that sort of tricky matchup zone, and at the end of the day, again, they're different than they were. We're different than we were. And so, and it certainly feels better to be at home, I can tell you that. But it's going to be a high-level game, and we're going to have to be locked in on both sides of the ball.
They have some really big guards, physical guards. Talk about matching up with those guys and how difficult that is.
Yeah, I'd have to think about it, but they might be just one of just the most positionally, just biggest teams in the league. They have big guards. It's not necessarily that their bigs are so big, but, Bumbra and, obviously Banks is a wing that kind of plays that guard sort of like position. Cam Williams, I mean, they've got length, and then Caleb Glenn is a bit of a, interesting matchup at that 5 position, someone that can initiate offense and really drive it. And so, yeah, they're just different, and that's, that's hard to play against when you're not used to seeing it every day. And so it's going to be a challenge. Again, I think it starts on the defensive side of the ball. We got to have that mentality that we had on Saturday in Denton. Hope we brought that with us back to San Antonio.
Yeah, and not only that, the convos become kind of a home field advantage more so than in my time here to have the impact that you had the last couple games at home, and now you get 2 this week with Tulane and East Carolina.
It's been awesome. It's going to be an awesome week. We have a couple of big games here. Obviously, you're going to talk to Karen here in a little bit. I can't wait for that one tomorrow. That's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, the combo is somewhere that we certainly want it to be known as a place where, it's one of the hardest places to win in the American. We've played much better, over the last month here. Certainly after that Temple game, we're confident here, and so we feel good.
We mentioned Joe and Damari's prowess on the glass in the North Texas game. David Hermes is also part of that rotation. Kind of talk us through his role and what you like from him so far.
Yeah, just, again, another guy that's got a high basketball IQ. He's got good feel. Sort of one of those guys that adds that sort of international game and feel to your team. He's a front court guy that's got great feel and timing to pass, and then he does a great job. If you're really watching the game, his physicality down low, even if he's not scoring, is creating opportunities for our team. And so a guy that's really improved since the beginning of the year. That quite frankly, Mo's injury a little bit opened up some more, opportunity for him, and he's done a great job. And those two are really close. That's cool to see when you've got 2 guys that Mo's gone down, and he's really helped Dave sort of fill that spot and be impactful for our team. And
even though he hasn't gotten to his number as far as 21, 22 points a game, Primo has done so many other things for this team. Steals, I think you had like 8 steals against North Texas the other night.
Yeah, he's gutting it out. We talked about it. He's been banged up this last week, and but he's like I said, he's a warrior. He wants to play. He loves this team. And again, when he gets out there, you feel better when he's out on the court. So
there's a lot of basketball players that don't necessarily like the game as much as they are good at it. But I sense that we've got a bunch of players on this team that love to play the game and are pretty good at it, and that's usually a good combination.
Yeah, I think our game last Saturday is a perfect example of that. I think the way North Texas plays sort of tests that. You got to be okay with getting in a grinder that's in the 40s and 50s, and it was a slugfest. It's not about scoring, and I think a lot of teams that wears a lot of teams down. I thought our guys were just in the fight together, about winning the game and just like you said, just competing and playing basketball. These guys, I was almost late tonight because these guys were playing one-on-one in the gym an hour after practice, and I just wanted to watch it for a little bit. So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's great to have a team that's competitive and loves to hoop.
It's always good when you don't have to tell somebody to go get extra shots in.
I know. Sometimes you gotta force Smurf Sheriff Millender to go home. He's probably still in there right now. So
Probably.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we'll look forward to Tulane on Wednesday and East Carolina coming up on Saturday, and we'll talk about both next week and hopefully start stacking some wins together here.
Let's do it. Birds up.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
And that's Austin Claunch with us out here at the Coaches Show. And we'll come back with Karen in just a little bit. Save time after the game by order. It's the UTSA Basketball Radio Show. UT Health San Antonio is the official healthcare partner of UTSA Athletics. See how UT Health San Antonio's brightest minds are making lives better at WeMakeLivesBetter.org. Time to visit with Karen Aston as the UTSA women got a win over Temple. big win on Saturday, down 12 in the fourth quarter, and came back to get a huge win and get back in the winner circle.
Yeah, for sure. It was a gigantic win for us, and I was super proud of everybody involved in it because, you know, as I said after the game, it's always tough to come off of a loss, and you have to turn the page really, really quickly, and you really try really hard not to let one loss turn into two. And, you know, for a while I wasn't sure that was going to happen, but I thought that we just hung in there. You know, we hung in there until we could get some momentum, and it was a really, really good win.
Yeah, when we were at Florida Atlantic and you were at South Florida on Wednesday, I had the stat broadcast thing up so I could follow your game, and you would get to within 3, you'd get to within 5, you get back within 3, and you just couldn't get over the hump. You were close until maybe a minute or two to go in the game, but you just couldn't get those last couple of baskets to get over the hump.
No, we couldn't, and I thought we were a little bit uncharacteristic defensively. I thought that they took advantage of some mismatches, and we didn't handle that very well. And to be honest with you, they stepped up to the plate. I mean, sometimes you have to give the other team credit instead of saying that it was all about you and what you didn't do. And I thought that they had some players really, really step up and make shots that maybe they haven't consistently been hitting. And you look on the scout and you're like, okay, we can help off of this kid. And, you know, a couple of their players really stepped up, and it kind of got us discombobulated a little bit, I think, to have that happen, and we just didn't respond well.
I remember something Larry Brown said 30-plus years ago when he was here with the Spurs. You can game plan all you want, but if the person that you don't think is going to make the shot makes the shot, you're going to lose. You're going to lose the play or lose the game.
Well, that's a little bit about what happened to us. And by the way, I love Larry Brown. He's one of my favorites. But, you know, again, you game plan. You game plan for, you know, based on statistics and you know what you're seeing on film and all of that, and we took some chances on a couple of players and they burned us, and again that they were in a place where I think they felt like they could not lose a home game. They talked about it repeatedly throughout the week. You know, we have to protect our home court just like we talk about all the time, and they did that. I mean, they played with a lot of urgency.
Jordan wasn't able to play in the South Florida game. She came back for the Temple game. How impactful is it to know that you were close in a game where you didn't have your best player, to give the players confidence if she does get hurt, if she does get in foul trouble, it's not the end of the world?
Yeah, and I mean, I felt that way going into the game. I thought that we could match up with them. You know, I mean, obviously when you take points off the board like that, you're going to try to find them somewhere else and piecemeal some different lineups and things like that, and we did that, and I didn't think we played bad. I just thought that they had players really step up, and again, that's what good teams do. They were picked to win the league. They're a good team, and they stepped up to the plate that night, and, you know, we just needed to move on. If we see them again, I think we'll feel confident about it. It's not like we're going to feel like we can't beat them.
Speaking of Jordan, today she was named on the watch list, the Ann Myers Drysdale National Player of the Year midseason watch list. So one of 50 players on that list. That's pretty impactful.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I'm so proud for her, just because of the stuff that she's been through, the adversity she's been through, and to see her get on the other side of this right now and be acknowledged as one of the top players in the country. She is one of the top players in the country. I've said this all along. I've coached some really, really talented players in my career individually, and she's right up there with the best of them, and I'm happy for her, and I still think there's more in her for sure. I think we're going to see some more great things out of her.
I got to see the last few minutes of the win against Temple and the comeback, and then there was one particular play, and we had Nina out here with one of the first shows of the year. You get get a defensive rebound. You obviously already said if we get a rebound, timeout, we're going to advance it. And she comes flying in from 30 feet away, timeout, timeout, timeout. It's pretty cool when you don't have to remind somebody, even after you've already told them, go get the timeout.
Yeah, she's pretty in tune. Nina is always, as a point guard is supposed to be, she's a step ahead of you at all times, and I don't even think I had to tell her that to begin with. We talked about it in the timeout, you know, if they score, call time, but that's not something that I'm going to have to tell Nina at all. She's going to always be ready for those moments.
And to have that basketball IQ, that kind of trickles down to the rest of the players as well, doesn't it?
Well, for sure, and I mean, just on top of that, she has a point guard mouth. You know, I mean, she's not afraid to say, you know, in a huddle or remind them and on a free throw line or anything like that. Like, she's always super, super communicative. I mean, she lets everybody know what's going on. And when she doesn't, we can tell. We can tell when her voice isn't being heard for sure.
All right, we've got Sydney Love coming up in the next segment. We'll talk with her coming up in just a bit. We'll also preview a big game tomorrow night against North Texas. Texas Farm Bureau Insurance members.
is waiting, and so is that Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
We're out here at Chicken and Pickle. It's the home of the UTSA basketball radio show each week, and the show is presented by UT Health San Antonio. Chicken and Pickle at UTSA Boulevard in Vance Jackson. We're joined on the show by Sydney Love, the pride of Cibolo, Texas, just up the road. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
All right, talk about this season. Good, I'm doing good. Let's talk about this season. It's been fun for you guys at 18-3 so far this year, just playing really good basketball. Talk about how much fun you're having winning games.
It's really fun to win. It's always fun to be on the winning side, maybe not so much the opposite side, but you could tell that something was kind of special about this team since we started in the summer, and it's kind of just fruitful to get to see the work that we put in and, you know, what's happening up to this point.
What was it in the summer that you guys thought, okay, this could be special this year? What was going on that you felt good about?
Well, we were really competitive, and it was just a different feeling. It was like we went in there and got better every single day. Like, that's what it felt like. It felt like everybody bought into what we were doing and was just competing, and it was just a different vibe.
It's always fun when you're winning, but there's work to get to that stage, and that makes it, I think, even more fruitful and more satisfying because you did put in all the work to get to where you're at.
Yes, sir.
Talk about that.
We've been grinding, like I said, since June, and it's been a long process. We've all had to endure it together. So, you know, I think we all looked forward to playing, and also we're going to continue to win. You know, it's like when we get one win, okay, let's win again, because we just want to keep that feeling going.
Karen, let's talk about Sid and what she's done to this for this team and the role that she has and how she's embraced all of that.
I think it's amazing that this is the third time in a row that someone's on the radio show. That's kind of like unheard of now, that 3 years in a row you get to have the same person on the radio show.
There you go.
Because, I mean, that doesn't even happen anymore. I mean, we got 2 teammates over there that have been with her the whole time also, and I think that's really the most special thing about her in particular and this group. Again, the 2 that are with her is just that they came here. I mean, part of the sell was make a difference, you know, really invest in something and put your stamp on a program, and they knew that they had the opportunity to do that, and I think it's been really special to watch them stick with it and not, you know, either jump ship because, you know, something went wrong or try to look for something better. I mean, they've just dug in and said, okay, we want to make this place special, and they've done that.
And I think, too, Sid, that you grow up in San Antonio. You know about UTSA. You know they have not had success, and now you're part of the growth of that success, the foundation. Talk about how special that part of the journey has been for you.
Oh, well, I love that because it's been just that, a journey. You know, you have to start from somewhere in order to get to where you want to be eventually. And so you just get to grow around the people that I'm with in San Antonio. I've met, like, the most, I don't know, everybody's just made me a better person, a better individual. And it's in my hometown. There's no more that I could ask for. There's nothing better I could ask for, honestly.
You have a dynamic player on the team in Jordan Jenkins. And I'm not with you all the time, but I have seen some of your home games. She doesn't act like a superstar. She just acts like one of the rest of you. How important is that you guys have this camaraderie and this chemistry, knowing that she's going to help you get to where you want to go because of her talent, but you all have a lot of talent around her as well?
I don't think Jordy's like a showboat or anything. She's just Jordy. She's just herself, and we all just have this bond. We've been here together since we came here, I don't know, 3 years ago. So.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for Jordan to leave these guys.
Yeah,
I think this is a really special place to her, and her teammates are really special to her.
And you still have a long ways to go in this season, so there's a lot of work to get done, and one game at a time, all that mentality. Talk about those building blocks, and you say you won Saturday, now you got to go win tomorrow night, then win another Saturday, and just keep doing that.
Well, I think it's about the bigger picture. We're trying to grow every game. Learn from our mistakes, learn from our successes, I guess, and we're just going to try to build on that all the way through the conference tournament. So we just have our eye on a prize, I feel like, and we want to reach that goal, so everybody's focused.
This is her junior year, Karen. Where's her growth, and how much better can she get?
She's always going to get better. This is a player that, you know, she studies the game. She's in the gym all the time. She's one of those that you have to go, okay, like maybe you should take a break today. She doesn't believe in breaks at all. Straight A student. I can't say enough about this young lady as far as her character and who she is, which is what's been so special about this program, is that we've built it around. I mean, this is being built around someone that people can look up to, you know, because of who she is as a person, not just a basketball player, but as a person.
Talk about the no days off mentality. Where'd that come from?
Probably your dad.
My dad, for sure. My dad is Jetson, nose guard, super athlete. So he's been like that our whole entire life. Just his motto is hard work pays off. So if you do that, then there's nothing anybody can say to you.
He was an athlete too, right?
Yes.
Talk about what you know about his career in the past.
Well, he just is. I mean, he was All-American nose guard at Jetson, so he set the tone for every athlete in my family. He's just always put it in my mind to get better, to improve myself, and be the best that I can be. So.
How often do you shoot baskets in the backyard or in the driveway with Dad?
Oh, well, mostly my brothers, honestly. He was mainly just watching, but he was
He
always
just told them all what to do, I
yeah,
think.
exactly. He was always there to critique, though.
All right, you got North Texas tomorrow night. That's going to be a big game for you. Talk about that matchup from your perspective.
Well, they're a top 4 team, so you can expect a physical matchup. They're gonna try to push the ball in transition. The rebound, they play hard, but we're just gonna have to match their energy.
The picture is huge. It's the big picture that you're going for. I know you want that NCAA tournament bid, but there's a lot of work between now and March to get that done.
Yes, sir. Day by day.
Talk about that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. How about a 4th year next year? You'll be back here on the radio show.
Of
No
course.
choice.
No choice at
no
this point.
choice.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us. All the best to you. Good luck tomorrow and throughout the rest of the season.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that's Sydney Love with us on the show, and we'll come back and talk about that North Texas matchup and a few more things on the program coming up next. radio show. The games this week. Tomorrow night, UTSA takes on North Texas on the women's side. Neil Raphael has the call on the Bull 93.3 starting at 6. And on Wednesday, 6:30 for the men's game against Tulane. And I'll be on the air at 6:30 from the Convo. Tomorrow, we'll talk about the North Texas matchup in a minute, but it's also a big night. It's the Play for K Cancer Awareness Game, the Salute to Healthcare, and Women's and Girls in Sports Day. And I know all of those causes are something you're very big on. We've been watching North Carolina State and Duke out here. They're having their Play for K game tonight, and something that college women's basketball has been a huge part of for some time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's obviously the charity of choice that the WBCA and women's basketball has always supported. I was fortunate enough to, when I spent my time at Charlotte, I was fortunate enough to spend a lot of time around Kay Yow, and you know, just a phenomenal woman and a phenomenal role model in our profession. And I was on the Kay Yow board for several years when I was there. So it is a cause that's obviously very, very important to me personally. My mom passing away with cancer, and just you know, I mean, just research. Can't say enough about how important it is that we continue to get for research. So, yeah, I mean, women in sports is a big deal. I mean, you know, we're women. I mean, we support women, and the people that come out and support women's basketball, first of all, they're not missing anything for sure. I think it's the hottest sport out. And, you know, I appreciate all the people that support our program.
I mentioned the home court advantage the Convo is becoming for the men, but it's certainly the same for the women as well. You've had over almost 1,400, I believe, the other night in
sure
the
did, and they were loud.
Game.
They were loud. I'm telling you, when we got cranked up in the fourth quarter, you couldn't hear yourself talk, and it was fun to watch. It was fun to feel, and I know that our players loved it.
Let's talk about North Texas, and what did Mean Green bring to the game tomorrow night?
Yeah, they're really good, really, really good. They bring an obvious Player of the Year candidate. But a lot of balance. I mean, it's not just about her, just like I don't think our team is just about Jordan. I think that we're two very balanced teams that defend well. We get out and transition well. So we mirror each other quite a bit, to be honest with you. So I think it'll be an interesting matchup. I think that you never know, like unsung heroes may come into play in this game.
Yeah, what did they do special? What's their calling card?
They rebound really, really well, and they score in the paint really well. But again, I think it's the balance. I mean, people would say that about our team, but you know, when you look at the Temple game, it was the three-point shots that really opened up the game for us, and I think that that's kind of the way they play too. Like if they start, you know, people start hitting shots, then their balance comes into play and they're hard to guard. And I think, again, we kind of mirror each other quite a bit.
I think one of the things that really makes athletes that are good athletes, great athletes, is they enjoy the process of getting to where they're at. And a lot of times I think fans look at it as cliches when they say it's about getting better the next game. But you don't get to 18-3 if you're not constantly working to get better. And it seems like that's what your team is doing each and every day in practice as the games get ready for the next night or the next day.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's what I've enjoyed coaching about this team the most of all, is that there's been very few days, like Sid said, it's really been since June that they've enjoyed the process of practice. Like they go in, they get to work, they compete against each other. It's been a joy to coach this group.
All right, not that you're not focusing on North Texas, but you also have you have a road trip at Wichita too this weekend, and that's always a tough place to play as well.
Yeah, the road is just tough. I mean, we love playing. We wish we could play every game in the Convo, but unfortunately you can. And just the road is tough. I mean, everybody wants to win home games. Everybody has a little bit more mojo at home, and you know, as we experienced in Tampa, it's hard to win on the road.
Where would you like to see the next level of improvement with the team? What's the next step to continue that success?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, I personally think we need to get back to guarding better. I have not been extremely pleased with the way that we've defended or rebounded, and a lot of people would think I'm crazy for that, but I just don't think we've reached our potential defensively or on the boards. I think we can be better. I think our guards can rebound better. And then I think on the other end, just some patience. We're getting deep into conference play, Andy, and everybody knows your plays. You have to have some discipline about yourself to get to like maybe the second or the third option, because everybody knows who you are. They know what gum you're chewing and which way you're driving. And you just have to, move it. You have to move it to the next spot, and I think we have to improve on that.
Awesome. Thanks so much. We'll do it again next week.
Thank you.
All right. That's Karen Aston with us out here. It's the UTSA radio show. Again, tomorrow night, the women play at 6:30. Broadcast starts at 6 with Neil on 93.3. And the Tulane game is on Wednesday, 6:30 airtime. Tim Carter will join me for that. Have a fantastic evening, everyone. Thanks to everyone out here today, including Mo and Sid from the players' standpoint, to Austin and Karen as well. Michael Bartlett produced the shows. See you next week for the show and the games this week. It's the UTSA Basketball Radio Show on the UTSA Sports Network.
You're clear, bud. I'll see you
Thanks,
tomorrow.
man.